Hello everyone. I want to welcome you to Online Remember English Language class. Never forget, the purpose of this class is to improve students' academic performance by paying close attention to their weaknesses. Alright? So, today, on writing skill, we want to pay close attention to long sentences and punctuation errors, because these are some of the errors or weaknesses of students. Let us start with the first one: long sentences. Many students, many candidates don't always know how to end their sentences. In fact, some don't even end their sentences at all. You see them, they write from paragraph 1, line 1, moving to line 2. That is first. For some people, they abuse or misuse the punctuation marks they are supposed to use in having their sentences punctuated. Now, let's speak more about this problem. When we don't have correct expression, grammatical expression, clear sentences, of course, we are going to have one of these two problems. Number one, the problem of ambiguity. Sentences, one particular sentence, of course, we have several interpretations which are supposed not to be so. One single sentence having two or more interpretations. The second one, vague sentences. In fact, this is the worst. You see students writing sentences that are unclear. What do you mean of vague sentences, unclear sentences? This one, we can't even interpret or attach a particular meaning to the expression. So to avoid ambiguity, to avoid vague sentences, therefore, we must pay attention to how we construct our sentences. Please, let us be clear here. Having long expression may not even be the real problem, because it is appropriate, it is advisable, it is allowed, it is welcome idea if you have long sentences that are well punctuated and that are having the correct meaning. But in this case, long sentences that are not well punctuated and that are already losing their meaning is what I want us to focus on. Omission or wrong use of full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation mark, inverted commas, and other punctuation marks that we have. So what is the point here? Before I deal with omission, I would like us to concentrate on the wrong use. And for you to understand the usage at all, we need to have this foundation. The first, understand that when we talk, we don't make use of punctuation mark. Of course, we can have the rise and fall of the pitch of the voice, which is otherwise known as intonation. So intonation is the marker. That means what intonation is doing while we speak or talk. The same thing is what punctuation mark is doing. In other words, intonation is to speaking, while punctuation mark is to writing. If you understand that, okay, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 sentences. If you understand that, then you are going to have a foundation now that will aid you to understanding how punctuation marks work. Okay, Now, let's have the sentences. The first one, the chairman addressed the members and appointed Mr. Ben. Okay, let me leave that for now. Mrs. Obi and Mr. Oyo to work together for the ceremony. This is an example of a long expression. But the problem here is the fact that punctuation mark is omitted. Punctuation mark in this case is omitted. So if we say this as an orally, okay, you're going to have the chairman address the members of the staff or of staff and appointed Mr. Ben, Mrs. Obi, and Mr. Oyo to work together for the ceremony. We just talk freely. We just talk without any punctuation mark like the writing form is required, but it is not true. While we talk, a good speaker and a good reader will do something like this. The chairman addressed the member of staff and appointed Mr. Ben. There will be a pause. Okay? Your instinct will tell you that Mrs. Obi and Mr. Oyo to work together for the ceremony. You will observe when we started reading, if you try it, the tone of the pitch of your voice will be rising. And that is a skill. When you start reading, your voice will begin to rise. Okay? And for a case like this, of lists, either of names or items, after each list, before the end, the one here will not take it. Okay? After each list, there should be a comma. Because when you say it orally, you will observe that you are going to have a pause. And if you have more than one, then you have pauses. So I want to use this to tell you that all punctuation marks are pauses. Just that by the time you come here, it will be fully realized. We now call it a full stop. We call this a full stop or period. Okay, so in other words, all punctuation marks are natural pauses that you have when you speak, that you are supposed to translate, okay, or you are supposed to mark while writing. So if you understand that, then you are good to go to learning the functions and especially the types and functions of all these punctuation marks. But the first thing is to have this mindset, is to have this skill. So in other words, I am trying to say that punctuation marks are all stops. They are pauses. Just that one of them is called full stop. In other words, your comma is a pause, your question mark is a pause, your exclamation mark is a pause, okay? And your quotation mark is a pause. Have you ever wondered the same pause that you are going to have for exclamation mark It's the same pause that you're going to have for full stop because they do the same thing. They end sentences. Just that exclamation mark is a bit or quite different. It's going to reveal strong emotion. Are you following? But they have a connection. Both of them, including question mark, are going to be realized as a full stop. But how can we differentiate them? Then we need to pay attention to the sentences. A sentence such as this. What is your name? Then you move on. Then we have something like the manager asked, what is your name? The manager asked. Of course, let's start with this. What is your name? Is suggestive of a question, and it is a question. Then you come across a sentence that is containing a question. And when you come to that point, if you are reading it, if you are saying it, you are going to pause. So you go back to the sentence and find out what is the function of that sentence. It is a function that will now indicate the punctuation mark that you're supposed to use. For instance, we have, what is your name? The manager asked. The next thing is, the manager asked. So this is the exact word of the manager. Then it must be quoted. It must be quoted. And when you have this, then of course you know start a sentence with capital letter and end with a full stop. Then you have this. The emphasis that I want you to note here is that we can have a sentence without putting punctuation mark, especially long sentences. So having a long expression like this is not the problem. It's not the big deal. But not constructing them well, are you following me? Or not making them clear in the case of having a relative clause. Okay? Two clauses. For instance, the man that I told you about, is coming today. Another one, the owner of the school, whose son, I think I love that one. The owner of the school, whose son was, is a cultist. We visit today. You can leave this kind of expression like this. The owner of the school, whose son is a cultist, will visit today. The owner of the school. That's one part. This whose, of course, you know, is referring back to this. Son is a cultist. When you get there, you will know that something should happen here. Something should happen here. Of course, it should have the punctuation mark, essentially the comma. Now let's come to the second one. Wrong insertion of commas between subject and verb. Let me take them one after the other. Let's take them in turn. Subjects and verb. E.g., Okay? We have the man spoke well about his country. The man spoke well about his country. Of course, there is no need for any punctuation mark here. But the point here is, a student is doing this. The man spoke well about his country. It does not make sense. We don't talk like that. The man spoke well about his country. It should be the man spoke well about his country. So when you insert a comma between a subject, of course you know it's the subject, it's the verb, okay? And the country, the object. When you do this, you are having a wrong use of the punctuation comma. So can we have another one quickly? The children are having a nice time. The children are having a nice time. So you are now dividing this. This is wrong. It should not be there. This is also wrong. It should not be there. Please take notes. Then number 2, quickly, the second one. Okay? Subject, verb, subject, object. Subjects and objects. A. Here you have this. Let's go on with the man. But his daughter. A bicycle. The man bought his daughter a bicycle. We have the subject, we have the verb, we have the first object, and we have the second object. Okay, let's concentrate on one. The man bought his daughter. Let's now put it here. Because you want to put comma between a subject. Okay? Okay, if it is between, maybe it should be here. Between, or it can be here too. Between a subject and object. This is your S, this is your V, this is your O. Now look at this. You can have this. The man bought his common. So the point is, even though it is essential that you use punctuation mark, you use common, please endeavor to use it appropriately. We move on to the next one. Subject, object, verb, and complement. Verb and complement. A. Mr. Ben is a good man. Who is a good man? Complement is from the word complete. It's always referred back to either the subject or the object in the sentence. When you have that, for subject it is called subject complement. For object it is called object complement. But I just want to focus on the wrong use. Now, Mr. Ben is a good man. Now you have Mr. Ben. So you are now putting a comma between the verb and good man. Maybe this. Mr. Ben is a, or Mr. Ben is, comma, a good man. It does not make any sense. You have altered the meaning. In fact, this sentence is not clear. And it's what I said earlier. It will not be clear. For some, we end up having several meanings instead of just one. If verb and complements between adjective and noun, maybe I should divide this into two now. adjective, and noun. When you insert your command between adjective and noun, adjectives tell more about noun, they will qualify noun. Now let's say the woman bought an expensive car. The woman bought an expensive car. The word expensive is telling us about the car, which is a noun, therefore it is an adjective. But the problem there is when you put a comma here. There is no need for that. There is no need for this. The woman bought an expensive car and you are putting expensive. Naturally, your instinct will disagree with you because you are supposed to have the woman but an expensive car, not the woman but an expensive car. It does not work like that. Alright, we need to note that it's possible to have two or more adjectives qualifying a single noun. A single noun, okay. Then putting a comma is allowed. For instance, you have the woman is results oriented. The woman is results oriented. Well cultured. You can stop there and put full stop. Or put and list another thing. Do you understand that this is absolutely correct? Absolutely correct. The woman is result-oriented, well-cultured, full stop. What are we supposed to have that? Comma is replacing. We're supposed to have and. That is what has been said. So take note, we have two compound adjectives there. Two compound, and it's not only for compound adjective. It's not only for compound adjective. Okay, let me give you the car, the fast moving car. Of course, we can make this one, the fast moving car. And of course, it's not work. Okay, let me add one more. Let's do the expensive. The expensive, comma, fast moving car. It will done. The expensive, comma, then fast moving car. Of course, we also need to pay attention to order of these adjectives. I don't need that now, that is why I don't want to go there. Essentially, come back to this. You cannot put a comma between an adjective and the noun that the adjective is qualifying. They are supposed to be together. Take note of that. Can we have more? Adjective and noun. Now let's see verb. Okay, verb and adverb. The new students speak English fluently. The new student speaks English fluently. Fluently here is telling us about the action of the girl, speak. The new student speaks English fluently. So it will be wrong for us to put a comma from here down to this place or somewhere here. Either here or here, it is wrong. We do not need any comma here. So please take note. Or let me, the message is well said or well articulated. The message is well said. I am putting this. Well is modifying the verb. And this is your adverb. You do not need to put this comma there. It is wrong use of that punctuation mark. We need to be careful, even though we are meant to use these punctuation marks. I think comma is one of the most, or let me say, comma is the most abused punctuation marks. So that is why, and mind you, these points are gotten from Chief Examiner's report. So they are not my own idea. But I can tell you from experience, students are always victims of this. So please, let's work on this road so that you can improve your academic performance, your writing skill. And that is very, very important. We have verb and adverb, the omission of comma used to separate items. Like I said, my mommy bought the first thing she bought, second thing she bought, third thing she bought, maybe a gas cooker, a pot, and the list continues. After each of them, there must be a comma. But the item before the end, there is no need to put that. If you put that, that is abuse. That is wrong use, rather. Wrong use of the comma. It is important we pay attention to this. Alright, now let's move on to the next item. Use of small letter for the personal pronoun. I think I spoke extensively on this in the last video, okay? And writing, okay? Now, please, anywhere you see the capital letter I, it must be capital letter I. And capital letter I is this. It is not this. It is not this. It either bent it or it is standing straight. It is never acceptable like this. The capital letter I is this when it is standing alone. When it is not standing alone, then it must be a small letter. And a small letter, it must always be dotted. Always dot your I plus your T. Not just I alone. Dot your I, dot your small letter J. But we are not focusing on this for now. So please take note of this. Very, very important. The next item, wrong combination of initials or first and last letters in abbreviations or unnecessary abbreviations. Some of the errors that are connected to wrong combination of initials, for instance, even for example, let me use that. You have EG, number one. You have EG. This is what most people, most writers always do. If I ask you to give the acronym or abbreviate it, you're going to give me something like this, which is absolutely wrong. But okay, we should have this. Are you surprised? This is what you're supposed to have for what? For example. Others that are common include your Mr., Mrs., after the R there must be this, okay? Let's say February, the short form of February is Feb, then there must be this. There must be, the full stop must be there. This is now full stop, is not comma. Please take note. Take note of all of this. Very, very, very important that you do. Can we get more? Alright, because of time, let's move on. So let's take the last omission of the hyphen and the use of compound nouns. Now let's go back to the question I administered this morning. The German speech is well articulated. We do not need this hyphen here, and therefore this expression is wrong. This is why it is wrong. Okay? Now, why is that? Always pay attention to the fact that the noun that is being qualified by the adjective, okay, must come before the adjective. When it comes before the adjective, then you can have this. But when the adjective is coming after the noun, you do not need the hyphen. Is that clear? You know that we can have pre-modifier, post-modifier. Okay, good boy. The boy is good. When the compound adjective comes before the noun, we put hyphen. When the compound adjective is coming, the German speech, this is a noun that is being modified. The German speech, okay, it's coming before the compound adjective. But if we have the well articulated, speech, delivered by the chairman or by the chairman, okay, or of the chairman, this can go. This is coming before the noun. But if it is coming after it, we need to draw the hyphen. That is why this is wrong. What about number 2? The book is very interesting. The problem with this is when you have this verb, it is unacceptable to still put your hyphen here. So you drop it when you have the word very, okay? Though it is showing the degree there, and at the same time, it is not necessary. It is not necessary. For instance, in this sentence, the book is very interesting. Interesting qualifies the book. That means it's an adjective. Very is qualifying interesting. That means to be an adverb. But let's leave that for now. The focus is to pay attention to hyphen. And when you have the two of them together, very interesting, now functioning as a compound adjective. The two of them then working together to qualify or to modify a verb, to qualify a noun, place, ensure in the case of this, even if it is coming after it is unacceptable, you drop it. But once you have this word very place, you do not even need to stress yourself much about the first row. Okay, but we are still coming to say something later. The third one, Oyechin wore a beautifully decent gown. Oyechin wore a beautifully decent gown. The problem with this is the adjective with ly, you don't need to put the hyphen. If the structure is like this, you drop the hyphen. You drop the hyphen because of the ly. The last, okay, the fourth one, the last. The man is very highly respected. What about if I tell you that this is absolutely correct? This is absolutely correct. Now look at these two compound, let's say compound adjectives. Okay, this is just showing us the degree. So it is acceptable when you have this kind of construction and we are putting verb before it. It is different from this one. So we can have the man is very highly respected, the man is very well known. So these are the basic rules guiding the hyphen. Please take note. We are coming to the end of the class today, but never forget, for long sentences, if you want to do long sentences, you may need to study more on sentence structure, your sentence structure. Okay, the simple sentence, that one of course is going to be a simple short expression. But starting from compound, going to complex, those are long, and you need to vary your it can't be just simple. So that is why I earlier said having long expression, having long sentences may not, in fact, is not a problem. But the problem is when you have the long expression and we have all of these problems, all of these errors. Let's ensure that we do the needful and no examiner and no error will rob us of our excellent man. Thank you for joining the class today.